Would you mind talking a little bit more about the intention for the weekend of the week? Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, the theme is becoming men and women of God, as opposed to what? Well, as opposed to being a person or a man of men, a person that is contrived, that is conditioned, that's essentially man-made, which we inevitably all grow up in the conditioning, the ideologies of mankind, and there's no way out of that when you're born here, when you grow up here. So we come here, so to speak, we incarnate, if you will, and we get raised into a certain form, we get molded into a certain shape, and over time we begin to identify ourselves with that construct, those constructs. And the goal here is to, obviously the theme of the whole God tour is to bring God back to His throne and to make the recognition of source, intelligence of God, call it what you will, natural state, to give that back to people, to give people direct access instead of all these indirect symbolizations and misinterpretations, and this sense of God is out there or source is out there, to really just bring it back to direct recognition. And then here at the residential retreat, the intention is to go really in depth for those that want to truly make this a transformative, lifelong change in life. So every day we'll have a different theme, but we're gradually, we start with the recognition of God. What is that actually? Give people the penetrative tools, the actual practice, the actual mental tools to recognize source directly, like not conceptually, not from the mind, but actually directly using consciousness, using God itself. So it's God, recognizing God in the presence of your human life, in the presence, the reflection of your human mind. So then we have a whole practice day where it's very meditative. It's called the cutting through to God. So we're cutting through to the conditioning, we're cutting through the ideologies, we're cutting through the misconceptions, the false identifications, all that hubris, all that debris, hubris and debris. And so that we actually learn, we go hardcore that day on practice so that everyone actually has a glimpse of what it's like. And then we bring it out more into the relative life. So what does this mean to have access to a direct recognition of source? And then what does that mean to become a man? We have one day that's like focused on the masculine, to become a man of God. And then we have the next day is focused on becoming a woman of God. And we'll also have some people from the team talk about their experience, how to integrate this work, how to purify their lives. And basically, so that by the end of it, the last 2 days are about giving yourself, surrendering yourself to your unique life stream, your unique blueprint that is God inspired, that is inspired by the intelligence connected to the whole. So that by the end of this week, you do not feel like you have a personal life anymore, in the sense of this scattered little life that you're living for yourself. I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to maintain that. But you're actually cleansed of all these divergent paths and all that scatteredness. And you just know with crystal clarity, instinctually, directly, consciously, you know what makes your heart beat, why are you here, and what is, quote unquote, God instructing you to be and to do, what inspires you truly. But not from a place of even personal ambition or motivation. That's what we're going to hash out of this human man-made construct. So it's really about knowing God directly, learning how to actually recognize God directly, cutting through the nonsense, and then making a shift in allegiance, in devotion, surrender to what you are invested in, what you are giving yourself to, what are you devoted to in this life. And what we're going to encourage you to do is to make that about source, make that about God, make that about just having one single life stream, so that when you walk away from this, the scatteredness is gone. You just know, you know who you are, you know why you're here, you have the tools to recognize it, to deepen it, to brighten that recognition, and to bring that into your life without the filters, without the constraints of the personal fears and conditioning, and to actually be a man of God, to be a woman of God. And that's what it feels like when you get this shift. You can honestly sense and feel and say to yourself that I'm no longer a person that's living a personal life. I'm actually surrendered to God's will. And that sounds a little religious, but we'll make that really real and practical so that everyone understands exactly what that means on a day-to-day level. So it's kind of the overview. And we're going to have a shit ton of fun. This place is pretty amazing, I have to say. And the vortex here, the energy here, we're going to amp it way up. It's going to be amazing. And I'm excited, I have to say. I don't look forward to things anymore that much. There's not a lot of future awareness here. But being here and seeing the potential, it lights me up. On behalf of all of you guys. And I highly encourage you to make it happen.